Close your eyes and imagine the sounds of a bustling street, the clang of a trolley bell, the click of heels on pavement, a paper boy shouting the morning headlines. It's New York City, sometime in 1953, and this is what a normal day felt like. The city wakes up 6 a.m. It's early morning. The skyline is still half-shadowed and gray, but the city is stirring. In a modest apartment in the Bronx, the alarm clock buzzes on a wooden nightstand. A man rises, stretches, and lights a cigarette before stepping into the kitchen. His wife is already dressed, hair curled and lips red, pouring coffee into 2 thick ceramic mugs. The radio is on, softly playing Nat King Cole. The smell of bacon crackling in a skillet fills the air. Their son is groggy, sitting at the kitchen table in flannel pajamas, eating cornflakes with evaporated milk. In Brooklyn, similar scenes are playing out. Children are getting ready for school. Mothers pack lunches into brown paper bags, and fathers tighten belts and adjust their hats before heading out the door. Some carry leather briefcases. Others are dressed in work boots and denim jackets, on their way to jobs at the docks or construction sites. The commute, 7:30 a.m. Subway trains screech through tunnels beneath the city. The platforms are crowded with men in gray flannel suits, women in tailored dresses and nylons, teens with satchels slung over their shoulders. The trains are noisy and packed, filled with cigarette smoke, chatter, and the rattle of steel wheels. Above ground, the streets are coming to life. Newsstands open up, selling the daily news and the New York Times. A fresh cup of coffee costs just 10 cents. Taxis honk as they swerve through traffic. Street vendors begin setting up their carts, serving everything from niches to salted pretzels. Manhattan in motion, 9 a.m. Downtown Manhattan pulses with energy. Skyscrapers loom over the sidewalks and elevators hum with workers heading up to their offices. Typewriters clack away. Switchboards buzz with operators plugging calls through thick cords. Paperwork piles up on desks and bosses stroll through rows of desks with cigarette in hand. In the financial district, men shout across trading floors. On Madison Avenue, advertisers brainstorm over slogans and jingles. Somewhere, a young woman daydreams of being discovered by a modeling agent. It's the Mad Men era, and ambition is the fuel that powers the city. At home and in the neighborhood, 10 a.m. In quieter parts of the city, stay-at-home mothers begin their day after the children have left for school. They shop at local grocers, where meat is wrapped in butcher paper and vegetables are weighed on hanging scales. Milk is delivered in glass bottles and placed on the stoop. Housewives flip through catalogs, chat with neighbors, and tend to chores with radios playing in the background. In Harlem, Latin rhythms blend with jazz on the street corners. Over in Little Italy, conversations in Italian echo from windows and fire escapes. Jewish bakeries fill the air with the scent of fresh rye bread and babka. Every block in New York has a rhythm of its own. Lunchtime, 12 p.m. In Midtown, workers flood the sidewalks. Lunchtime is a rush. Diners are packed, serving up pastrami on rye, meatloaf sandwiches, and fountain sodas. Automat restaurants are still around. Walls of coin-operated compartments that serve hot meals behind tiny glass doors. Teenagers on their lunch break gather at soda fountains. A jukebox plays Chuck Berry or Elvis Presley. Girls wear poodle skirts and boys sport leather jackets or cuffed jeans. They sip milkshakes, share fries, and daydream about cars, dances, and movie stars. Afternoon, 2 p.m. The city begins to settle into its afternoon rhythm. Office workers return to their desks. On the factory floor, machines clatter. In schools, teachers go over multiplication tables and cursive handwriting. Blackboard chalk screeches. Students pass notes and stare at the clock. In Central Park, people stroll beneath tree-lined paths. Some sit on benches with newspapers, others push baby carriages. Street performers gather small crowds. Pigeons flutter. The smell of roasted peanuts and city air fills the lungs. At the Brooklyn Navy Yard, welders work under towering cranes. Taxi garages fill with the sound of wrenching and clanking. New York works hard. Blue collar or white collar, the engine never stops. School's out, 3 p.m. School bells ring. Children pour out onto sidewalks, yelling and laughing. Some head straight home, others linger at the corner candy store or the local park. In poorer neighborhoods, stickball games start in the street. In more affluent areas, kids ride Schwinn bicycles down the block. Teenagers hang out at record shops, flipping through 45s, talking about James Dean or Marilyn Monroe. After-school jobs are common. Stocking shelves, delivering groceries, helping at the local butcher. Mothers begin preparing dinner, peeling potatoes, boiling pasta, seasoning roasts. The smell of home-cooked meals starts to drift through apartment buildings and row homes. Evening rush, 5:30 p.m. Office workers flood back onto the subways, briefcases in hand. Tired but determined, they make their way back to the boroughs. The trains are loud, the platforms crowded. Radios blast baseball games. Mantle, Mays, and Jackie Robinson are household names. Back at home, the family dinner is a ritual. Fathers arrive, hang their hats, wash up, and sit down at the table. Meals are hearty and filling. Meat, potatoes, vegetables, and dessert. No distractions, just conversation, clinking silverware, and the day's stories shared. Prime time, 7 p.m. Television is the new hearth. Families gather in the living room around black and white sets. I Love Lucy, The Honeymooners, The Ed Sullivan Show. These are weekly events, not just programs. In some neighborhoods, the TV's glow can be seen from the street, through open windows. Kids lie on the rug, feet in the air, eyes glued to the screen. Commercials advertise Lucky Strikes, Studebakers, and Wonder Bread. For some, it's time for books and homework. For others, it's date night. Couples go out to the movies, paying less than $1 to see the latest flick. Marlon Brando, Audrey Hepburn, the smell of popcorn and the cool, red velvet seats of the movie palace. Nightlife and city lights, 9 p.m. Downtown, the city sparkles. Times Square glows with neon. Broadway is alive. Men in suits and women in elegant dresses step out of cabs and into the theaters. Jazz clubs in Harlem, Greenwich Village, and 52nd Street are filled with smoke, saxophones, and rhythm. In diners and delis, night owls sip coffee and talk politics. College students debate philosophy at all-night cafes. Taxi drivers swap stories at corner stands. Policemen make their rounds, twirling batons and tipping their caps. Midnight. The city sleeps, sort of. It's nearly midnight. Most homes are dark now. Children are tucked in under wool blankets. A lull settles over the residential blocks. But the city doesn't stop. Garbage trucks rumble through the streets. Newsboys sort morning editions. At the docks, late-night workers unload crates under floodlights. Somewhere in a smoky apartment, a writer pecks away at a novel. A saxophonist practices one last riff before calling it a night. The heartbeat of New York slows, but it never stops. A day in 1950s, New York was a symphony of hard work, family, tradition, and dreams. It was a city in motion, loud, proud, and full of character. Every corner told a story. Every block was a world of its own. In the glow of street lamps and the rhythm of its people, New York was, and still is, a place like no other.